Hello nerds! Welcome back to Beat Lab. For our today's research highlight, we've invited Maya to talk about her research.
Right, so my name's Maya Flannery and I'm a third year PhD student. And right now I've been working with these smartwatches to try and measure heart rate from people while they're listening to music or watching film or like doing other sorts of activities.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about what's your inspiration of your research?
So I've been studying music and like how people respond to music for a little while, and one thing that I think was a limitation of my earlier research was that I was just recording like self-report responses. But two problems with that type of measure are that like it's only like a single point measure, like so you're only asking them like after they listen to a song or something. And the other problem is like they're kind of explicit responses that like a person can change their mind and not actually answer in a true way. So I think like a physiological response, like something like heart rate, it's much harder to control that like with explicit control. Also like with these sensors, like they're always on, so like a smartwatch, you always have it on your arm and it's always recording data, so you can actually get like a really kind of time sensitive response to the way music is changing over time.
Right. Do you think there's any potential for those smartwatches to be used in, let's say, a live performance setting?
Yeah, so it's really nice that like these watches, like they're like really small and easy to wear.
For sure.
And like people when they put them on, they don't really notice that they're wearing it. So I think this is like a big advantage because we can actually like record people while they're like listening to music like the way they normally listen to music.
For sure. Opens up a lot of avenues for even more diverse or natural settings of research, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about this research?
I really like doing this research because like I get to combine like my love for music along with like just my interest in psychology and understanding like how our minds work, and especially like why we like music so much. But it also like combines my interest with like technology and computer programming. So all of that is just kind of like in one project here.
I actually heard that you have an amazing poster about your research. Do you want to take us to your poster?
Sure, that sounds good. Okay, so this is my poster. Rather than start by talking about kind of like going through the traditional way that we present a poster, I was going to just focus on like the title, because I think there's a lot to talk about just in the title. So it's titled Naturalistic Measurement of Multi-Person Cardiac Activity Using Open Source Smartwatch Technology. Why that title? I'll start with like cardiac activity. So one question would be like, why would a psychologist be interested in cardiac activity, what the heart is doing? And it does this with a system called the autonomic nervous system, which incorporates a whole bunch of other organs in the body, including the brain. So like if you're exercising, your heart rate will increase to kind of like account for like the way you're using your muscles. Or if you're like scared or something or nervous, your heart, like in preparation for maybe needing to run away, will start to beat quicker. So there's actually a relationship to like what our brain is doing, and it affects our heart rate. Another thing that's really important about a reason why we look at the heart is that it's actually relatively easy to measure. So keeping in mind that this is like an internal organ, it's pumping blood through our bodies, and those fluctuations in like blood volume in our body can be detected in the skin by a sensor. Like for example, like really popular is called the photoplethysmogram, and this is done with a sensor right here. I can turn it on for a second. So there's a little green LED that flashes and that sends light into your skin. So when you put it on top of your skin, light flashes inside your skin and reflects off of the blood volume inside. And then another sensor reads how much of that light comes back. So it's just with this simple way that we can collect like the way the heart's moving or pumping blood, just like at the level of the skin. So I think the next point in the title here is like this kind of like naturalistic measurement of multi-person cardiac activity. A lot of psychology experiments are done like in labs like this, like I mentioned before, which is not really a natural way to listen to music. So we'd like to be able to take like our sensors out into the real world where people actually experience these stimuli. And the other question is like, why multi-person? Again, it's kind of a natural way, especially with music, that like music brings people together. So we want to understand like how people listen to music in like normal environments. So Taylor Swift was just in town, and like hundreds of thousands of people like all got together to listen to music. This is where like an advantage of like wearing a watch means like we can go into like this more realistic kind of environments and do it with many people. And there might be something happening when there's a bunch of people together that doesn't happen in a laboratory environment. So this last part, using open source smartwatch technology, means that this technology is actually like really accessible. So these watches are cheaper than most watches that you can buy, and they're also like custom programmable. So when we do a study, like for example in like a theater, we can have an audience come in where we can easily attach all of these watches to the audience, and we can do this for up to 3 hours. And so that lets us collect a bunch of heart data in like as much of a naturalistic setting as we can hope for, all at once, and then we can take it and analyze it.
Let's thank Maya and all of her devices. Thank you, Maya, for sharing your research with us, and we'll probably see you next time.